Joe Rogan has recently come under fire after talking about video gaming on his podcast, calling it a waste of time. I'm saying playing video games doesn't get you anywhere. So I have a question for us and our listeners. Is video gaming a waste of time? And could it even be a little bit dangerous for some people?
Right, it depends on the context, because they have proven that playing video games does improve your hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
But a lot of people got ran over and knocked down and fell down holes playing Pokemon Go.
So it might lower your IQ is what you're saying. You'd be great at hand-eye coordination, but you'd be shit at crossing the road.
Yeah, like you fall in a hole.
You might fall in a manhole. I know that the video game industry, it's worth more money than the movie industry and the music industry combined. Yeah. With salaries in gaming in terms of creating of games ranging from 36 to 50,000. So some people do manage to turn video games into their job, as maybe as a software engineer who earns 50,000, with some of the top line online gamers earning 17 million for Ninja and PewDiePie, a respectable 15 million for them would be the top earners. So there are people who make a very, very successful career out of playing video games online. Even if it was something that you had a real interest in, you could become a software developer or a games developer, or if you're anywhere creative, you could go into character design for video gaming. And there are pathways to turning maybe what parents might see as a waste of time into a viable career.
Yeah.
I guess, like, on the other side of it, video games are really, really fun. They're really addictive, and they generally take a lot of time off your hands.
Like Joe Rogan, I feel sometimes just says things to be out there.
Yeah, I kind of like. There's a part of me that like fully agrees with that they are in fact dangerous, because they are really addictive and develop with such a bad temper. And even myself, like I'd had to delete games off my phone because literally they took over my life.
You could say that with anything though.
For instance, I remember the game like experience for me was Simpsons Tap Out. Now, Simpsons Tap Out is kind of like Sims in the way where Simpsons gets destroyed and you have to rebuild Simpsons. And in a way, like, it teaches you the operation of how a town works, basically, because more houses you have, the more money you can collect off individual houses, and you can set people jobs which create money which you can put into infrastructure, and you can design the town the way you want. The only thing is, like, for Wheatus, who had a farm, for instance, he, like, you could say him a job for 12 hours. So if you go to bed, you know that you'll see for 8 hours, so 2 more hours, Wheatus's crop will have to be picked. If you like miss that crop, the crop goes rotten and you earn no money. So the game kind of like incentivizes you to play the game every certain amount of hours and kind of punishes you. And there's other ones like Clash of Clans and other games like that where you get punished for not playing the game and you get incentivized for playing the game. There's like, I'd be in work and I set like hour-long missions that I knew that, like, okay, I'd have a little bit of time in work to jump on this and set everybody missions, to the point where, like, on my break, I wasn't talking to people. I was just playing this game. My whole life basically was surrounded by this game. Literally took over my life, where for a point where I was determining when I was going to wake up in order to do crops. I was making sure that I had to set everybody missions, and I was basically wasting my time. By the end of it, like, I had a slightly bigger city than a few of my friends that played the game, but like it completely took over my life.
I don't know. Like, I used to be obsessed with Worms. Remember that game?
Yeah, I used to love Worms. That's another game that goes nowhere, but it's great enjoyment.
Yeah, like me and my friend one time, he stayed over at my house for like 4 days during summer holidays when we were in like secondary school, and we didn't sleep for 4 days
playing that game.
Like, we just played that game for 4 days.
Yeah, same with, I remember wrestling games. I used to get really addicted to the point where, like, I'd be on holidays and all I wanted to get back to play my PlayStation or whatever. Like, there's a point. The reason why, like, I bought a PlayStation now, but like I didn't actually have consoles, was like, it would take up 6 months of my life, and people get a snigger at that. But if I let video games take up 6, and even now, like playing the basketball games, I can feel that addiction come back. That like it's the first thing I woke up today after my breakfast, I played that game, and it was also the last thing I did before I went to bed. Like, and only that I have a little bit more discipline now where like I say, okay, I have to do research for my podcast. This has to be done, or I'm going to go training. So I have breaks like that, but I have to seriously put in like restrictions around that game, even to the point where like even now I am thinking about like just delete my my PlayStation account. Now that I can go back training, I like delete my account and delete games. Like point where it is still like an addiction that like you have to treat it like an addiction. And for the majority of people, they're not going to go into the gaming industry. They're not going to become gamers. It's literally just there to waste time. You're wasting time instead of doing maybe some lesser important things. Like there's some little jobs, like maybe buying stuff online that I need to buy, or setting appointments I need to make that I kind of miss out on because I was playing the PlayStation. It's kind of little stuff like that. Like let's say you had a house or you had kids, that like few hours of you playing that PlayStation game, although you say, oh, it's my only break away for the day, it's stuff that like you're missing out on in like playing with your kids or stuff like that. So if you're getting like where it is disturbing your life that way, I do think you kind of need to maybe take a look at it or at yourself.
Well, you could say the same though about like watching movies or watching TV or even exercising.
Yeah, no, like once again, like I remember Joe Rogan, his analogy in this was he said like if you do something like jiu-jitsu that's also quite fun and that you can get addicted to as well, well you can look at like your coach and see if you got really into it and go, oh, you can be a jiu-jitsu coach, you can open up your own school, you can have your own business. You can do the exact same thing with gaming. I kind of feel like if you get into gaming, you really, really like it, you could become an online gamer. But even if you weren't actually that good at gaming, there's other side industries, like you could give tutorials on how to play games for maybe newer members. If you're good at like video editing, or you get yourself a decent microphone and camera setup, you could do like or even just work as like a software engineer, or you could work in like journalist as a game reviewer or stuff like that. There are other industries that are a lot more even profitable than possibly owning a jiu-jitsu gym. Like I think the vast majority of jiu-jitsu gyms around the world, they do as a passion project, not as necessarily, you might be able to scrape together a living, but it's not necessarily a huge earner in terms of money. Like a starting salary for people in gaming industry is 36,000 a year. Very few like jiu-jitsu gym owners will be on 36,000 a year, I could say.
Would you not earn like 25 quid a class or something?
I think his rates and insurance would be the biggest thing. And remember, you're getting paid a month. Like if you break down, let's say your gym fee is 100 quid, and you have a member who come three days a week, that works out a little bit over €10 class you're getting off that person. And if they come more, they come more, it's less.
I suppose it depends on how many people you've got, and
oh yeah, like it's more about the size of your gym, the amount of members you have, and like insurance is another big one. I think the insurance and stuff like that is the big rent. It's the two biggest things that you have to kind of cover, in gym costs that gets eaten up. And then after that, it's like, it's your fee. It isn't just like, a lot of people think, oh wait, it's like €100 a month and they have like 30 people. That's like a lot of money, but that's over a month.
Yeah.
Like if you add up what you earn a week, like in your job, and then apply for a month, then like you go, oh wait, and they also have all these fees. Like fuck that.
Yeah, I suppose in like a big gym, if you've got a big affiliate, you'd be alright then.
Yeah, if you're in a point where you have affiliates who are paying you money, or you can maybe get seminars every now and again, or people in your gym are getting you to do private lessons, or maybe you're also a personal trainer, so you can do the fitness aspects of it, or you can do diet plans, and you can also do online coaching that way. There are other side industries that you can go into to earn more money, and there are other avenues in jiu-jitsu. They can earn money. You can make a living out of your hobby no matter what. But to say, like, for Joe Rogan to go out and say, like, oh, people shouldn't play video games because they won't have a career in it, but they should do jiu-jitsu because they will have a career. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I like jiu-jitsu and all, but I don't know about that, Joe. I think once parents, I think this is more directed for as parents. As adults, you kind of know, okay, I can't spend all day on this because I have to do stuff. And once you don't get like caught up, because it's kind of easy even for adults to get caught up playing games. So once I think you recognize the amount of time that you're playing a game, or the amount of time a game takes up in your day. And if you're happy with how much time that takes up, then fine, that's okay. but like it can get out of hand. I think for parents, necessarily the kids, once they're socializing with other kids, like I don't have any problem with video games being a part of their play. Once they're also then interacting with kids and learning kind of like social skills, like how to talk to people and stuff like that.
Like that's another problem then as well, is like gaming being like online and stuff. More so now, like consoles and shit are online now. Like that's kind of dangerous for kids.
I played like that basketball game where you're playing in teams with people. And sometimes people turn on their microphone so you can chat to one another. There's two types of people who will turn on the microphone and talk in those games: are complete and utter pricks, and people who are just being hilarious. Like, so generally a lot of times, like, you don't want to talk like these people who turn on their microphones anyway. If you're like 5, or if you're, well, maybe about 5, if you're like 12 and you're getting abused because maybe, let's say, you're not having the greatest game in the world and your team is losing and you're getting abused by an adult online, you're going to maybe be fearful to play it, or like it's going to hurt your confidence anyway. And if you're getting that constantly as you play games online, and then you feel like you're irrational as you get better at the game to lash out at other people. So it's kind of like a cycle.
Like a lot of the time, like it just be adults that would be throwing out the abuse.
Oh yeah, like 100% of the time. Like a lot of them are actually grown men who are like, "Oh my god, you suck so much. Why are you even playing this? You have no idea to play this." You're like I don't know. It's just like you're playing a game online, and it's a game at the end of the day. Who cares if we lose? You just like play another one with a different group of people, and maybe you'll win that one. They're like it's a game. We're having fun here.
Yeah, dick.
Yeah, exactly. As long as people are aware that how long you spend on games, I think it's all right. Once you don't go over the top in your parameters in terms of like playing video games, like it's not taking up any substantial amount of time, or it's not impeding in certain major things in your life that you have to get done.
Yeah, then you're all right. It's fine.